Hello students, today we are going to revise our second chapter of literature, Gopal and the Hilsa fish. So let's begin with it. We know this is the name of our chapter, Gopal and the Hilsa fish. First begin with the main characters. So who are the main characters of our chapter? We know that Gopal and the king are the two main characters of our chapter. And what are the characteristic traits of these two? If we talk about Gopal, he is a very clever, very wise person, and whenever there is any challenge that is posed by the king, he is always able to accept that and he has completed that. Second is the king here. We have seen here that the king is also very understanding, very wise, but sometimes he gets ruffled, because we have seen that when courtiers were talking about Hilsa fish, he get annoyed for some time, but later he understands his mistake and he poses a challenge. Now these are the two main characters. Who are our sub characters? We have in our chapter some courtiers and Gopal's wife. So we'll see that where the reference of these two comes in, and other people in the city are also there. They are all hidden characters. Let's begin with the chapter's highlight. Now we know that in this kingdom, where as the chapter begins, there is a particular season that was going on. And what was that season? Which season it was? It was the season of Hilsa fish. And as you know, right now it's the season of mango, and everybody is either selling or some are buying, or you are eating mangoes, you are preparing mango shake. So everywhere, because it is the mango season, so you can find abundance of mango. Similarly, here it was the season of Hilsa. The fishermen were catching the Hilsa fish. Hilsa is actually a fish. So right now it is found in abundance here. So everybody, if you go to the market, some are selling, the others are buying. If you go to home, people are discussing that at what rate you have bought Hilsa, and some are boasting that we have strike a very good bargain. Now, if we come to the court and the palace of the king, it should not have been that Hilsa should have been discussed there, but even the courtiers are discussing Hilsa. And as soon as the king heard that the courtiers are also discussing Hilsa fish, he got irritated and annoyed. And he said that you are not a fisherman, you are a courtier. And he thought that can anybody stop talking about Hilsa fish for at least some time? This was the challenge he posed, and one of the most wise and clever courtiers, Gopal, accepted this challenge. He accepted and he said that he is going to buy a very huge Hilsa fish from the market, and he will bring it to the court without anybody discussing about this Hilsa fish. So what did he do for that? He has taken the challenge, but how did he execute it? We know there are three things he did. After a few days, he took a disguise. Now this was something to draw the attention of people towards him rather than Hilsa fish. Now what are these three things he did? First of all, he half shaved his face. So who can do this half shaved his face? So we know that this could only be done by people who are mad, who are insane. So the first thing is he half shaved his face. Second thing, he smeared his face with ash. So ash, which we get by burning of something, that is sprinkled and smeared on the face. So you know, again, he is taking a look of madman. And the third thing is that he has worn rags. Rags are old torn clothes. Now any good civilized person would never do such a thing. So he half shaved his face, smeared his face with ash. I'll write it with ash. And the third thing, he has worn rags. Now Gopal's wife was really annoyed and she was shocked that how her husband, who has been such a respectable courtier, is wearing or taking a disguise of a madman, and how can he go outside into the kingdom before the public in this way. But Gopal again and again said that he is going to buy a huge Hilsa fish. Now in this disguise, when he went to the market and he bought a very huge Hilsa fish. Now in the market, when he was buying the fish, or later when he came from the market through the roads to the palace, nobody talked about Hilsa fish, because everyone's attention was drawn towards the insane man whose appearance was so weird, who was half shaven and who was smeared with ash. So nobody paid attention to the Hilsa, though Hilsa was a very huge one. In this way, he came to the door of the palace where the guards were standing, and the guards stopped him. Otherwise, they knew the courtier Gopal very well, that he is a very respectable courtier. But because in this appearance they were not able to recognize, they stopped him and they didn't allow him to go inside to meet the king. When he argued here, then the king heard it, and the king called him that who wants to meet me. When he went inside, after some time, the king and the courtiers came to know that he was Gopal. When questioned, he said that you yourself had given me the challenge, I had accepted, and this is me now, who with the huge Hilsa fish. And nobody in the town as well as in the palace or you or the courtiers even talked a word about Hilsa fish. The king was really impressed. He was really happy that he has really taken up the challenge, and he executed it very well. Nobody talked even a word about it. So the king was extremely impressed. Now this is wisdom of people. People who have presence of mind, who are clever, who are wise. They can take up the challenges and they can execute them well. So this is how we came to know that whatever be the situation, whatever be the challenge, if you keep your presence of mind, if you think nicely, if you plan nicely, things can go your way. This is how we have seen this chapter. I think you have understood this chapter very well. Thank you.